Hi everyone, it's Joe here from Lawn Solutions Australia and welcome to this episode of Turf Talk. Today I'm joined by the founder and managing director of Lilydale Instant Lawn, Garry Lusk. Gary, how you going?
Going very well, Joe.
That's good.
Thanks. How about yourself?
Yeah, going good, thank you. You're the first person to ever ask me how I'm going on this, so I appreciate it. Makes you feel warm and fuzzy inside. So Lilydale Instant Lawn, turf production company in Vic. So why don't you tell us a little bit about the business you have down there?
We've got, three locations. We started out some 38 years ago. Just my brother and myself had a bit of a play around growing some grass, and from there things have expanded somewhat. And around about year 2000, my wife Denise bought Pete's share. Not long after that, we purchased a farm at Pakenham. Our original farm's at Yarra Glen.
Yep.
And then we've got a farm at Pakenham, and more recently, about 12 years ago, we purchased some land in Bairnsdale, and we're still actually expanding our operations out through there.
So Pakenham, Yarra Glen and Bairnsdale. Now the office at Yarra Glen now, is that the original farm site that hasn't moved there?
That is, we did actually grow 2 acres at my father's place in Wonga Park before then, but we've been at Yarra Glen for 37 years.
So you started with a handful of acres. How many acres in production at Lilydale Instant Lawn now?
Now we've got nearly 600 under irrigation. Bairnsdale's our biggest farm.
Mm-hmm. And what are we growing?
We're growing Sir Walter, Tiff Tuff, Eureka Premium Kikuyu, and we have only a really small amount of Sir Grange.
Yep. Yeah, and how has that changed over the years? Because I'd imagine, did you start out a totally cool season business?
Absolutely, we were when we started 100% cool season, a mixture of bluegrass, Kentucky bluegrass, and ryegrass. We were one of the first growers to move into tall fescue. We have played around with a few other things. We tried some fine fescue at one stage, but tall fescue was really successful for us.
Yeah.
And then we introduced Sir Walter into Victoria.
Right. First ones in Victoria.
We were the first ones in Victoria.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now it's your major crop now?
It is our major seller,
yeah.
Sir Walter.
Yeah.
It was really interesting actually. It was a fairly slow start for Sir Walter. And then when we had the drought and water restrictions, people got sick of not being able to maintain a lawn with very limited water, and that Sir Walter really gained, even though I never want to go through it again, with 8 months of not supposed to be enough to water a lawn.
Yeah.
But coming through the other end of that, Sir Walter really gained market share.
So that was a catalyst for warm season grasses in general in Vic, wasn't it? Was that in the early 2000s drought?
I think it started in 2007.
Yeah.
And it was 2008, towards the end of 2008, before you could water a lawn.
So do you grow any cool season grass at all now?
No, we don't grow any cool season grass.
Yeah.
We just don't see it responsible because they just take too much water.
Yeah.
And at Lilydale, we don't see that as the future.
The business itself now, so it's got how many staff, how many trucks? What sort of numbers are you running there now?
We've got about 55 staff, 10 semis, and 1 twin steer truck. That we use our Pakenham farm in winter logistically as a hub. We run our turf from Bairnsdale down to Pakenham, and most of our trucks go out of Pakenham.
So 50 staff, 600 acres under turf, and a bunch of trucks. So just for some context for people, Lilydale is one of the largest turf farms in Australia now. It is a really big operation, but that wasn't always the case. So when you first started back in the 80s?
1985.
1985. So what was the catalyst to get you into turf? Why turf? Obviously, you're not a farming family, are you?
No, well, Mum's family were all... they were farmers,
right?
But Dad's family weren't. My father was a surveyor by trade.
Okay.
But my brother Peter, he was a curator on a golf course,
right?
Which is where the idea really came from. Really, just it's almost a continuous expansion from the time we started, and there was only 2 of us. We both had jobs when we actually started growing turf,
right?
Outside of turf.
So you had some expertise with your brother coming out of being a qualified greenkeeper.
He was a qualified greenskeeper.
But you were flying totally blind, or?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Suck and see for a while. Yeah. So did you start with a Ryan? Were you one of them, were you?
Yeah, we had a Ryan.
Yeah.
We used to roll up by hand. We did that for quite a while. I was much younger and fitter in those days.
So with a walk behind, so for those that don't know, a Ryan harvester they're pretty famous in the turf industry. They're the first real walk behind turf harvesters where you could actually, mechanically harvest turf. But you had to walk this machine, and then you had to hand roll it up, hand stack it on a truck, drive to site, hand unload.
Hand stack it on pallets we used to do because I had a forklift on a tractor initially to put it on the trucks. But, initially we would just stack, only had a little 3-ton truck, and you just stack the rolls on the side of the truck. You drive along the side of the harvest face and put them on.
So what was a busy day for Lilydale Instant Lawn back in the day? How many metres could you get done?
When we first started, it was a really slow start. So as I said, we both had jobs, so we'd do 100 metres here, 100 metres there.
Yeah.
But not long after we started, I cut 1,000 metres with a Ryan one day.
Right.
Rolled them up by hand.
Record breaker?
That was busy enough.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And today with your new auto harvesters, what can you get through in a day now?
What we could actually cut if we cut all day, I'm not really sure. But a busy day for us is about 8,000 metres.
Yeah. Yeah. So it'd be a lot of work with a Ryan.
A lot of work with a Ryan. You wouldn't wish that on your worst enemy.
Yeah. So what have been the major changes you've seen in this time? Obviously, there's been a lot of changes for Lilydale itself, just in the way that you've grown and expanded over the years. But from an industry point of view, what have been the real big things that you've seen over the past 38 years from your point of view?
Yeah, automation is unbelievable in the turf industry. Like, there wasn't such a thing as an automatic harvester when we started, and now everybody's got them, and you're mad if you don't, because it's physically it's probably not that good for you picking up turf all day. But and I think automation is just going to keep going as well with what is it's sort of out there now with autonomous mowers, and that's just where the future lies.
Even
I believe.
Autonomous weed control. They're looking at now because you went. Taking a little bit of a segue here now, but you went to the World Ag Expo earlier this year. You would have seen quite a bit of it over there, I'd imagine too.
I believe that with technology, it's just going at leaps and bounds, so it's just going to get better and faster and more affordable as it just moves forward. So
autonomy in the industry has been a massive change. I'd imagine cultivar change has been a big one for you guys as well, particularly. Victorian turf farms are unique because they haven't just changed cultivars, they've changed species in a way. They've gone from cool season to warm season grass. Is there just as many challenges going warm season as there is cool season, or do you find it an easier thing to produce?
Each grass has its own, positives and negatives, I guess. The beauty of the cool season grass is that you weren't concerned about what you did to your paddocks because you're going to work them up and re-sow them every time. Yeah. So with your warm season grasses, one thing you've got to be very aware of is how much damage you're doing to your paddocks when you're getting your crop out. Mm-hmm. All in all, because we do spend a fair bit of time not growing, I guess, in Victoria, it's a longer crop. Your warm season grasses are generally a longer crop than what your cool season grasses were. Yeah. So it's just basically more land.
And how did you go about over the years educating the consumers on the fact that their grass isn't bright green all year round? Was that a tricky thing to work your way through?
Yeah, absolutely. Because as I said, we introduced Sir Walter to Victoria, and at that stage there was a bit of kai, but not a lot. Yeah. And we have this wonderful new grass called Sir Walter, and we'd turn up in the middle of winter, and it was brown. And it's dead. It's dead. Can't have that. So, and I guess now we started using mats, heat mats, so that on farm we could keep it green. Mm-hmm. But now Colour Guard is a real winner for us.
Yeah. So was the message to the consumer, hey, it's a trade-off. You get wonderful drought tolerance, wonderful wear tolerance, but you just got to put up with a little bit of brown turf in winter? Was that pretty much the message?
Yeah. That was certainly the message.
Yeah.
Our consumers weren't that keen on it to begin with, and for a couple of years we actually stopped selling Sir Walter through winter, while we actually worked out how to present it better.
Yeah. Yeah, and now you sell Sir Walter all year round, have done for a number of years
for a long time we've sold Sir Walter all year round.
And you harvest turf a little bit differently than a lot of other turf farms. What's a quelt?
A quelt is what we do. It's you've put me on the spot here, but it's what's it? Quick. Means a thick, chunky slab.
I was going to say, he's forgotten the acronym.
I have. And because we do cut our Sir Walter a bit thicker and chunkier, it actually survives through winter much better. That was the other thing. When we started growing Sir Walter, we were cutting everything in rolls and it'd turn up to deliver some turf. And Sir Walter, might have a big runner out the back of it. And people would think it was kikuyu and not want it.
Yeah.
So, and then we went to slabs. So you turn up and all you see is beautiful green grass.
Yeah, sure.
It's amazing you can turn up with exactly the same product in a different format. And then people can love you or hate you. Depends. Depends what it looks like.
Straight off that. So how long have you been harvesting slabs for? And you're 100% slab turf now, aren't you? Thick cut slab turf.
Apart from Tiff Tuff, we cut in rolls. I've got a roll machine.
Okay. Yeah.
Specifically for Tiff Tuff.
Yeah.
It was about 2003. Might have been 2002.
Yeah.
When we were having trouble with Sir Walter rolls.
Yeah.
Only nothing wrong with the rolls, but they're just you might have a big runner sticking out the back of it.
And it was customers not happy with that for the reason for the change. Yeah. And other than that now, like you said before, you got a Bairnsdale farm, which is your main production facility.
That's
now.
Our biggest farm.
Your biggest one. You got Pakenham, which is kind of like your hub, and you got the home farm, Yarra Glen.
Yeah.
How do you go moving around between a lot of them with all the equipment you need and the time between farms? Does that pose a massive challenge to you logistically? Does it? Or?
Yeah, look, a little bit. We don't actually shift that much gear around. We try and nearly make them self-sufficient. There's a muck spreader that goes between Pakenham and Bairnsdale, and at different times of the year, the extra harvester will go to Bairnsdale. Back from Pakenham. But we've got really they're quite different farms. Yarra Glen we call our milk bar because we just got a little bit of everything. Right. So if people run out, they can just wander in and pick some up. And it's closer to town really. And, Pakenham is 100% Sir Walter.
Right.
DNA certified. And we've never done pickups from there actually, but we're going to start this year.
Okay, cool.
Doing pickups from there. And at Bairnsdale, we've got some quite a variation in soil. So we've got some really nice sandy stuff that where we're growing our Tiff Tuff, so it can go straight on sand.
Okay, so you can grow to spec.
Yeah.
That's a really strong point of difference now, I'd imagine, because I know I see a lot of specs and sand cut. It's not overly common.
No.
But it'd be a pretty good thing for you guys
We've
to
done
have.
tests and our infiltration rates are very good.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people will say they got sand.
Yeah.
But some might be sandier than others.
It's not like my sand, And so you started in Yarra Glen. I know Lilydale is close to Yarra Glen. It was named because of the town, wasn't it?
Yeah, just because of the town. Because Lilydale was known.
Right.
No one knew. Yarra Glen wasn't a place then.
Was it always Lilydale Instant Lawn? You haven't had a name change over the years?
Never had a name change. No.
Oh, very good, very good. So this role, this change, I guess not the change in the turf industry, but I guess it is a change in the turf industry that you had all those years ago. I guess you never thought it'd be like it is today for you, or did you always sort of have visions to really grow this brand?
When we first set out, I didn't know anything about anything. But as we moved on, and there was obviously a market for instant lawn, so the aim was to get to a situation where I didn't really need to be there all the time. We're probably there now. We've got good people. Steve Cole, our general manager, takes care of a lot of stuff. He's based at Pakenham. It's you never really know where things are going to go and where you end up. But the turf game's been pretty good to us.
And it's given a lot of opportunity to a lot of people in the industry, but I know you yourself to travel the world. You've been on a couple of trips lately, turf-related trips. Why don't you delve into a little bit about what we saw recently in the US that really sort of opened your eyes a little bit to what's happening in our industry at the moment?
One of the more incredible things, which I didn't really have much of a handle on, was Dr. Mbika, how she breeds grasses in a laboratory. And when we were there, I remember her being so excited because she'd had one of her little babies had shot just overnight, I think. So as we all know, the world changes and new things come out all the time. But for Lawn Solutions to be at the forefront of world-class plant and grass breeding, I think we're in a really good spot.
Yeah, it was a pretty exciting thing. And for those that want to learn more about that, we've actually done a podcast with Dr. Mbika going through that entire process. And anyone that's listened to her before, and I think you'll agree with me, Garry, she, I won't say dumbs it down because I don't want to insult us, but she explains very high-level technical turf science to
the people like us can understand.
People like us can understand, but it's definitely worth checking out. So we spoke about the robotics before, but the turf breeding was mind-blowing, wasn't it? Like the gene gun and the other technology they got. I think we're on the right path to finding even more sustainable varieties. Moving forward, we've definitely come a long way. So, outside of turf, turf's not everything for you. What keeps you busy outside of running when you get some spare time, a really large turf business?
Time? Yeah. I've always been interested and played a bit of footy in my time, Australian rules.
Yep.
And I do have an interest in some racehorses, which I thoroughly enjoy.
Technically, they both involve turf.
Yes, absolutely.
So, you've actually done a few turf tracks, haven't you?
We've done Yarra Glen Racetrack and Sandown Racetrack.
Okay.
Yeah, and we've done a few ovals as well.
Yep.
We actually fixed up Yarra Glen just after I retired. So.
Did you? Good timing.
I got to play a game of cricket on it. That was about it.
That was a retirement present, wasn't it? You had to re-turf it. Yeah, it sounds about right. So, talking about turfing a racetrack, what's that process like? Because I know you guys are, but you are mainly a home lawn.
That's what our business is based on.
Yeah. And what's the experience of like turfing a high-profile track like Sandown, for example? Well,
Sandown was really interesting because they came out and it was a contract grow,
right?
And they wanted the sand. They wanted our sand on one of the pivots at Bairnsdale.
Yeah.
So that's why we got the job. We're actually really lucky because I didn't understand how much sand blows away.
Right.
And when we first, because it was sown down, it was bluegrass oversown with ryegrass. Once bluegrass was
no warm season.
Snow warm season grass in that.
Kayak oversown,
right? No. So it was because they do most of their racing in winter.
Right.
So they wanted a bluegrass base oversown with ryegrass. And that's actually done really well. I think it's about 10 years old now.
Yeah, okay. And was that so you had to sow that and then grow it and then look after it for a set period of time before it went to the track? Have you grown bluegrass before like that?
We started growing bluegrass.
You started growing that. So you already had a little bit of the experience there. Was it a weird thing to come back to it all those years later and grow it again?
It was a bit different. But, as I was just said before, I didn't realise how much the sand would move. And the first sow down that we did, a little bit of it, about 30% of it, blew away. Was destroyed. We had to redo it.
How do you stop that?
Well, there's you have real trouble doing it.
Yeah.
That's why it's actually good to be growing. Well, there's tiff-tuff on that area now. And because once you get a good root structure in the soil, the problem, we still have a problem from time to time, but it's nowhere near as bad as if you work it up.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So Sandown Racetrack, Yarra Glen, the same thing, or is that Kai?
No, it's Kai.
It's Kai.
Yeah.
So right.
Because they actually only race in the summer.
Have you had any of your horses racing on your turf yet?
Yeah.
They go any good?
Not. Since we've done Sandown, think I've had a place getter at Sandown.
You had a place getter. Oh, that's all right. That's all right. That's all right. So,
Not a winner.
Not a winner. So, what's the future hold for you and for Lilydale over the next couple of years? What's going to be your focus now? Is it on growing certain markets, or is it just sort of keeping along how you're going?
Yeah, look, we've actually just really started a bit of a push into the more commercial sports fields market. We're doing what we call real. That's our latest thing. But basically, it just means for councils and anyone doing a sports field project, we will set aside the turf for them. They can come and look at it. We can do drone shots for them because not everyone wants to go to Bairnsdale every week.
Sure.
But we will guarantee that bit of turf that we have set aside for them will be set aside for their project.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That's just something we've just launched at the Sports Turf Association.
So if I want to got a new oval or something I want to do, I can come and see you and say, I want that bit of grass. That bit's my bit of grass.
Yep.
And that doesn't go anywhere else except
that won't go anywhere else, and we will keep an extra 20% just in case there's issues with the job.
Oh, fantastic. So that's going to be a real focus for the next little bit.
That is our newest focus,
Yeah. Oh, how exciting.
Which I think Steve's been going around a few councils and he's getting a bit of interest. Most people you talk to about it really love the concept. It's just surety of having the product ready when their project's ready.
Yeah. Yeah, cool. Oh, very exciting.
So that's our guarantee that we'll give to our commercial customers.
Great. I'm sure a lot of them listen to this podcast. Well, I hope a lot of them listen to this podcast. If they don't,
hopefully someone's listening.
Tell your friends. That's certainly something worth checking out. And have you got any robotics on the farm yet, do you? Is that something you're looking at implementing?
Yeah, look, it's certainly something we're looking at.
Yeah.
We actually sell Husqvarna mowers. We think it actually complements Tiftuff.
Agree. Yes.
In a lot of areas.
Yeah.
However, we haven't actually got a robotic tractor as such yet.
Yeah.
From the World Ag Expo, there was a few things. It was blue-white. It can actually hook a device to your existing tractor.
I've heard about this, yeah.
But they're not coming here until next year. But I'm intending to go back to the World Ag Expo and spend more time there next year because the advances in the technology is incredible.
One funny thing that we did see over there, we were at a farm and we were getting shown a new autonomous mower, and they said, it's really, really safe. It's got great avoidance technology in it, and they put a little fake doll out in front of the mower, and the mower ran straight over the top of it. So that wasn't real good for us.
It was one of the funniest things I've ever seen. But I'm glad I wasn't the bloke holding the
poor bloke doing
the laptop.
He turned around and goes, "That's not meant to happen." And we go, "Oh, really? Thanks, mate." But that was good. But no, it's definitely going somewhere pretty exciting. The fact they can retrofit to existing equipment now is going to be really cool.
Yeah.
It's going to be really cool. That's a really good story. You obviously, it's a credit to you and a credit to your family and a credit to your staff and your business to see what Lilydale's done over the last couple of years. I know we've had conversations before, and it's such a thing for people to do everything at once, grow a business, grow a family, that sort of stuff. But you've done it really well, and it's a real success story. So it's a credit to you, Garry, and I'm sure people are going to really love listening to this, and appreciate you coming on.
Thanks, Joe. It's been a pleasure to be here.
Thanks, Garry. That real thing's going to be cool too.
Yeah, I didn't explain it that well, but
no, made sense to me. Yeah. Sorry about the quilts thing too. To throw on the bus. You didn't remember your own acronym.